Hey, thanks for joining me. I was actually really excited when I saw this. I pulled this out of a bunch of random comic boxes that I was going through at this local mall fundraiser event that was going on. And Danny Mikis' WARCRY, I'm like, what? I seem to remember I saw this character pop up in some book as like a single shot, I think, somewhere. And it was a character called WARCRY. And I was like, I don't remember where I saw it. So I can't even remember what it was that I saw it in. But I remember kind of thinking like this was like one of the most ridiculous, over-the-top, over-designed 90s era characters that I've ever seen in my life. And I think I remember it being Danny Miki. Well, know him as an inker, like one of the best inkers that's ever been. And I'm like, I never knew that he had his own character and his own book. I mean, hell yeah. Like, I would like, this is where I get kind of more interested. I'm significantly less interested in the 50,000 or so separate titles that Liefeld was putting out at Extreme Studios when they're all just variations on stories that he's come up with. Like, he come up with the idea and then he hands it off to his guys like, hey, go make a comic on this idea of mine. I'm kind of like, I want to see individual works from the other people. Just like, let's move on from Liefeld shit and let's see what Danny Miki has to say about WARCRY. Again, the design of the character is almost too much, but it's also kind of balancing with, that's kind of fucking awesome, but it's also a little bit much. Long hair, like horn earrings, glowing crystal. Like, this guy has everything. Crystal in the forehead, like, looks like a Native American type choker thing around his neck. Big shiny metal armor. Spaghetti wrapped around his wrist. A fucking samurai sword. Native American feathers and necklace. Like, this guy's got everything. But again, I kind of appreciate the idea of like, all right, Danny Miki, what you got, dude? Show me. Let's go. And it looks like, based on the credits, it just says Miki. And so I'm guessing he penciled and inked it. So that's cool. I don't see any other kind of credit as far as cover. So I was like, great. What do we got? All right, WARCRY, creator and inker, Danny Miki. Sure. Wait, story and script, Brian Ueda. I'm probably mispronouncing that. So it's like, he's not even writing it, but I understand a guy saying like, I have concepts, I have ideas in my head, but like, I'm not a writer. So you present it to some of your homies and be like, hey, you're kind of a writer. Here's my ideas, form some kind of a story and let's do it. And then they bring on Mark Pajarillo to pencil it, which he's kind of popped up in my videos recently in terms of guys I've seen. He's kind of okay. You know, not terrible, not great, but not terrible. So I was kind of like hoping that Danny Miki would be drawing it, but I understand it if you kind of end up, a lot of inkers, I've heard of a couple of them mention how like when they get into comics, they all kind of like, I could be a penciler, but they kind of end up going the inking route. And they kind of find like that's kind of where they excel, which is fine, but at least you still bring your concept to fruition. Like it does say down here, WARCRY is copyright to Danny Miki. This is his thing. Okay. What do you got, Danny Miki? Blow me away. Tex says, man, I hate South America. Hot as hell and humid as a shower. If the bugs don't kill you, have no doubt the food will. Only a fool would be chasing the legends of the noble lords in this place. Okay. And then there's just a guy standing there. There's a dude with the box, and this guy's holding a piece of petrified dog shit. I don't know what it is. He says, and he just says, the first thing he says, but I'm not paid for my opinions. So I guess he's talking to the opinions of, this is his inner monologue on these things here. So this one guy is talking to the other guy. He says, do you really think the legend is true? And this guy says, does it matter? Baylor? Either way, we'll prosper. How many more will we need? He's like, 2. Well, where's the next dig gonna be? And so then the inner monologue of, I guess this guy, whoever the hell he is, I hate people who ask too many questions. Remember, there's no such thing as stupid questions, just stupid people who ask questions. Next question, please. Anyway, so they're like, all right. So then he gets out a little digital device and says, just what I need. Daddy, quote unquote, daddy's checking up on us again, as if calling every 20 minutes will speed up delivery. I'm like, so I was kind of instantly like, this is not reading exciting. It's kind of, I mean, we got to have setup. Okay. So then Guy, he's on the phone with somebody. The guy on the phone says, do you have it yet? And he says, yes, sir. As a matter of fact, Baylor is fueling the plane now. The voice says, no more surprises. I expect delivery by tonight. And then the guy's like, what the? And he looks up on some kind of stone structure. I'm like, well, where were they? Where were they? Where they're inside something where there's a stone structure. I guess it's supposed to be some kind of temple, castle, not a castle, but some kind of temple that they're digging through. So it's kind of like an Indiana Jones thing. Is this guy Belosh, Belloc? And so this is the Indiana Jones of the story. So there's WARCRY. He says, surprised, wary intruder. The voice says, who the hell are you? And so mysterious figure says, I am the wind of legends lost. You are but a leaf from a dying tree, a cancer feeding on the world's gone. Or a cancer feeding on worlds gone. And the guy says, what? And then so mysterious guy says, you destroy the beauty of ancient cultures in pursuit of personal gain. Your hunt ends here, intruder. So Balosh, I'm thinking Indiana Jones now. He's like, guards! And so he's running, and he's actually kind of getting away from WARCRY here, but his guards show up, I guess. There's a couple of guards because he runs through a door. There's kind of the indication of a couple of guards hidden behind the other sides of the walls. And WARCRY apparently just zips around him and slices him to death with his awesome samurai sword. Okay. Okay, sure. He's killing him. He's the protector of ancient artifacts and cultures and cool shit. So now he's getting to the plane. And Baylor, who I guess was the guy that was with him, or it says Baylor, but that's him. But then he calls this guy's called Akira. You, my friend, had better start praying. So this guy is telling WARCRY he better start praying. And then he yells, Akira. So this guy comes out of the airplane with a bazooka. He's like, no sweat, already on. He's like, what are you waiting for? I don't know what you are, Tin Man, but I ain't exactly waiting around to find out. So I guess Akira is calling WARCRY Tin Man. He locks on with the bazooka, fires, and presumably hits him dead center and explodes everything. Boom. Like, so long, sucker. And then out of the fire comes like a little mysterious shape that looks like a cat now. And the cat jumps. It says, immortality dances, and the shadow of the dragon's blood is born. And so the cat turns into WARCRY. He jumps through the explosion. He fires. This took me a second of looking, especially in this panel. It looks like he fires his version of like a spider tracer, but it's a fucking chicken's foot. Ding, shoots the chicken's foot spider tracer onto the plane. The plane takes off, and he says, fly, bird of prey, and take me to your nest. And it says, to be continued. I'm like, fucking what? 5 pages in, and it's over? What the fuck? What? Flip it over, and it's up. I'm like, what the fuck is... This is issue 5 of Knightmare. Your nightmare or mine? I don't know. I was like, oh, God damn it. I thought this was an entire issue. I wanted it to be an entire issue. Now, am I impressed with the 5 pages or so that we got? No, not at all. But there's not enough there to get us excited. But, all right, look, it's possible to take just a couple of pages, and if you know what you're doing, you can present a kind of like a movie trailer of your concept. You want proof of who can do it the best? Look at what J. Scott Campbell would do when he was hyping up Danger Girl. He'd have just like a double-page spread or something like that, and it's just a bunch of panels, reads literally like a movie trailer, showing all the characters and what they're going to be doing, and it says, join us soon for Danger Girl. It's a different vibe, it's a different attempt at different things, but you can get excitement and momentum going with just a few short pages. And no disrespect meant to any of the folks involved, Mark Pajarillo did kind of the best he does, and it's kind of fine. Danny Mickey's inks are kicking ass all over the place. The script, the story, the storytelling, I mean, it's just kind of like a Indiana Jones thing, except this guy doesn't want anybody stealing anything. And It was not that interesting, but only 5 pages. Like, if it kept going and we kept getting the opportunity to be exposed to more of the story, maybe there could have been something interesting. So now I don't know. Did this actually go to full book? It kind of sucks that they dared to put issue 1 on this. It should say preview. This is not issue 1. 5 pages is not the first issue of a comic. That's a preview. So, again, this is what was facing out in the book. It was bagged and boarded, and this is what was facing out. I'm like, fuck yeah, a full issue. Even if it's not that great, I still like to see the idea of Danny Miki's own kind of concepts brought to life. Back in, I think it says 95. I was literally graduating high school right when this was coming out. Never heard of it before just now. So I was kind of pissed. I wanted to see more. Do I want to see fucking Knightmare? Absolutely not. This cover's kind of fine. That's Marat. And Marat did kind of a fun job with this series and some of the art that I saw. You know, big metallic mask, and there's some monster guy on the cover. I figured we might as well flip through this, sort of. Co-creator and plotter, Liefeld. Script, Robert Loring Fleming. Penciler, John Fang. Inker, Bruce Patterson. I'm like, who are all these guys? I'm just like, I thought this was like, when I think of Knightmare, I'm like, this was a Marat thing. I felt like this was his, like, big book to kind of get super artistically excited. I don't know who John Fang is in terms of pencilers, or Bruce Patterson as an inker. So no, I am not going to read issue 5 of a book and a character I'm not interested in with artists I've never heard of. They're fighting, there's evil monster, there's blood, there's action. It's all kind of fine. This shot with the close-up of, like, Knightmare's head, the metallic inking textures are kind of fine. The cross-handed, hands and the swords crossing up front, that's kind of interesting. Not bad. But none of this art is that exciting. This is not that exciting. It looks like he's trying to pull off a Joe Quesada type design pattern thing. Good for him for going for it. I feel like this monster has kind of like a McFarlane-ish kind of vibe he's trying to go for. Knightmare's looking kind of dumb. But this story apparently keeps going on and on. Yeah, this is McFarlane-ish. The eyes, the face, the hair. I mean, everyone takes inspiration from everywhere. But just none of this is that exciting. Not interested. There's Maxi Mage. That one was not interesting either. Yep, that's Knightmare fighting this guy. And, I mean, look at this weird cartoony face. Really strange, really weird. And whatever the hell happens, I guess he gets electrocuted. And then whatever, it's done. So I was pissed. I was bummed out. I really wanted to see more of WARCRY. So, I don't know. Did this actually go more? Was there more of this? I kind of doubt it, but we got what we got, right? So, that's it. Nothing more to say. 5 pages, and unfortunately not that interesting, but we didn't get a chance to see enough of it to really judge it. So, I don't know. Maybe there is more, I guess, but it's weird to call 5 pages issue 1. Kind of lame. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got on this one. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. See you next time.